Hi guys, it's Silver again. Many of you will be happy to hear that I have successfully relocated to Arizona. Um, I This video is not about me though. I am making this video about the longest full moon of the century and the lunar eclipse that are aligning. Um, I just wanted to say just real quick that a lot of people helped me, even though I was only a few $100s. A lot of people like pitched in energetically and pitched in monetarily to try to get me relocated into Arizona, and my lungs are feeling better. I can't say that I'm like really recovering yet, but it does feel better to be somewhere less populated and somewhere where I have the space to be able to do what I need to do to relieve my pain. So hopefully, I will be able to return to doing healing and counseling and being able to tune into the cosmos better in order to be able to provide these insights. I have had trouble being able to open up and make another video because the intensity of the cosmic shift that's happening in preparation for the shift that's going to be happening in December, which is um, the end of the Mayan calendar, I believe, or something along those lines. The end of a giant time shift and the end of our sun cycle. Which in the Mayan text they did say it was the end of the sun cycle. We're getting a whole bunch of solar flares right now. I explained that all in my previous video, but so this is going to be the last full moon before the full moon, right before the winter solstice. And the winter solstice is going to be a really big shift this year. They also happen to be launching a satellite, so we're actually going to be able to start looking at some of the planets that are farther away and get more detail on some of the planets that we think might be able to sustain life. And I think that's a really interesting thing to be happening on the 18th, which will be just a little bit after the full moon and just before the winter solstice shift. And this all being said, I'm sure that you could all feel an intense shift happening that was related to the Hallows Eve that happened this year. There was, there's a lot of dark energy to transmute. So, turning into the time when, when the time shift happens in certain time zones, the daylight savings time, and when that happens, it's because of the fact that the tilt on the earth is, we're getting to a point in the egg-shaped rotation where we're going to be headed towards winter, and that changes the angle of where we're at, and we can all feel the magnetic shift that happens because of that. And that's what causes us to sort of feel like we're going into a hibernation mode. We're ending the summertime and going into the winter time, and so that takes people into a deep introspection. And I believe and people tend, our immune systems get kind of down, we can't be as active. And I think that's a big reason why um, all Hallows Eve or Halloween happens around that time, in order to be able to go into the darker side of things and think about the things that we haven't been dealing with, maybe because we were being so active, or the things that we've lost or deaths that have happened, in order to help the spirits and parts of our spirit transcend into another plane. And so that shedding that happens at the end of Libra and the beginning of Scorpio is a very important time, because of the fact that Libra is the liberating aspect of when we're in alignment with that part of the cosmos during that part of when the births happen, is because that a person that is a Libra, or the Libra energy, which would affect everyone, not just someone who is a Libra, is a liberating energy. So we want to bring ourselves into liberation during that time. It's becoming winter. We're facing the dark things. We're getting rid of them. We're trying to maybe settle into a winter, slightly more hibernation mode, where we're going to be probably focusing on arts and crafts, or staying at home, or we're going to be focusing on working on things in a household setting, or in a setting which we feel comfortable, instead of going out all the time and getting things done. And normally that would have been harvest and all these kind of things happening. So and hopefully it is for some of you who have farms and and gardens and such. But okay, so then when that happens, then the next shift that happens in November now is this year is very intensified by this extremely intense beaver full moon, and the fact that it happens to be the longest full moon of the century, and it's happening at the same time with a lunar eclipse. So this particular full moon and lunar eclipse is happening when the moon is on top of the part of the sky where Taurus is located. So the Taurian energies are already intense right now because of that, but the fact that it is actually a full moon when that is happening, and the fact that it's happening during Scorpio. So we're during Scorpio right now. People who are born right now are Scorpios, and that's happening when it's in alignment with Taurus. So Taurus and Scorpio are twin flames that are opposites on the astrological cosmic wheel from each other, and they very much balance each other out, and they have a very special relationship. So those are aspects that anybody can tap into, as far as having a balance of an opposite. That this full moon is going to be more affecting those two signs than any other sign, but it's still going to affect us in a way that is going to be the cultivation of the overcoming of the zodiac sign. So, for instance, all of the things that they describe zodiac signs to be, or aspects that they are often, if they seem to be a shortcoming, then it's something that you actually need to overcome. It's a hurdle that was placed there for you to get over so that you can evolve. So that being said, the Scorpio tends to be a person that gives so much to love and cares so much about their intimate and romantic connections that they sacrifice themselves or end up self-sabotaging or sabotaging the relationship because they get attached to negative patterns that reemerge, and in a negatively codependent fashion. So this alignment is going to allow for people who have those tendencies to be able to reflect and disconnect from their codependent relationships or the codependent aspects of their relationships. And that doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be a work relationship. Um,